For years, they told us not to talk about money. As artists, they say, focus on the art, not on your finances or your wealth. That's selling out somehow. But actually, it's a lie that keeps a lot of us stuck. I'm Lauren Messina. I'm the founder of Dancers Get Paid at school.com/dance, where I work with hundreds of dancers on a day-to-day basis. And I've seen firsthand how financial stability isn't the opposite of a rich artistic life. They actually go hand in hand. And when we find that foundation in our wealth, in our income, in our revenue, and feeling well-resourced, we can move forward with such freedom in our creativity. There's a single uncomfortable question many of us need to start asking ourselves sooner than later. And that question comes from one of my virtual mentors, Ramit Sethi. I am a part of Ramit's money coaching program, and I've been a part of it for almost a year now. Participating in this program has helped me to learn more about my financial literacy and to begin the slow and sometimes painful journey of healing my relationship with money. In this video, I'm going to show you why asking, what do I get, is the key to 10xing your wealth. When artists give themselves permission to pursue the wealth generating process, sometimes over everything else falls into place. Now, I'm not saying it's all about the money or we can't focus on generosity and giving. I actually think they're more interconnected than we think. What keeps many of us stuck is believing that focusing on money is wrong. Focusing on money is bad. That we shouldn't put some value, some worth, some price to what it is that we have to share with the world. We're finishing out week 2 of our 90-day first 1K sprint inside the community, and today I'll be dropping an additional resource to help you determine pricing. So I want to start by asking this question Ramit Sethi asks on many of his podcast episodes. He asks participants, what do I get? He holds his hands out like this and says he likes to think about, what do I get? This question is honestly one of the most important questions I think we can ask ourselves as artists, and many of us just aren't doing it. What do I get? In the first sale challenge that we've had inside the community, it's free, you can try it for 7 days. I'll put a link in the description. We talk about what we can share and how we can ask. When we ask this question, what do I get? It illustrates this exchange that happens between parties. One gives, one receives. There's this mutual benefit. When we ask ourselves, what do we get? What do I get? It reminds us that we're not just out here doing things just because. We have a purpose, we have a plan. Less is more. Many of us are out here running ourselves ragged and saying yes to everything, forgetting that we have the choice and the permission and the freedom to say no. We can have a season of no. We can have a lifetime of no. I was recently reminded in one of Layla Hormozi's videos about balance. She talks about how sometimes we say yes just because we don't want to say no. And hearing that, I could definitely relate. I could feel the discomfort in my body that comes with thinking about saying no. Over the past few years, especially this last year, many of you inside the community, if you're watching this, will know, I have been on an intentional mission to grow myself as an artist, as a leader. And one of the things that I've learned is the importance of rejection and the importance of understanding, is it really rejection in the first place? Being okay with not being accepted, being okay with not pleasing people, being okay with not necessarily being liked by everyone. That isn't the purpose of life. We will find our people in our pockets. We will find those people we connect with, and we will all be better for it. So when I ask the question, what do I get? I see it as a question that is abundant. It's not selfish in any way. We might initially feel like it's dirty to talk about money. I remember, this is going to be a topic for another video, but I remember bringing up money to the director of a company I danced with previously. And I have a video about that experience. I'll see if I can link it here. I remember bringing up the topic of money and negotiating a pay raise. When I look back at the email conversation, I see how I was able to advocate for myself and my needs, and how I was able to compare my own experience to that of the landscape of the entire industry in our country. and how I was able to point out the gender disparities that were influencing the pay that I received. That process was hard. It was hard to say, hey, this is what I'm getting and this is what I actually need. It takes some analysis on our part. It takes getting in tune with what our actual needs are, what our actual desires are. But when we ask that question of what do I get, it reminds us, why am I doing this in the first place? What's the purpose? And is the payout one that is valuable enough to me to say, yes? Is this aligned with my goals and my values? Is this something that I need to do right now? Hey, it's Lauren, the Dance Maverick. If you've watched this far into the video, I truly appreciate it. Thank you so much. If you would, like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'm going to drop a link in the description so that you can come and join us in Dancers Get Paid for a 7-day free trial if you're not already a member. If you are a member, I have a special offer I'm sharing today. I have 2 spots available for a one-on-one intensive. That's 6 weeks starting at the top of September and going midway through October, where we work together one-on-one. That includes 6 calls, 90-minute sessions over 6 weeks, and unlimited DM access on school. So we can chat through your strategy. We can review your sales calls. We can talk about retention and engagement and getting members into the community to join in the first place. All of those things that can help you build your group from the start, that can help you scale your group from the middle, and that can help you come into a place of authority around what it is that you have to share with the world. This offer is only available for members of the Dancers Get Paid community because y'all are action takers. So if you're seeing this inside the group, you can click on the post and there will be a link to reserve your spot. I truly believe that wealth creates breathing room for our health, for our relationships, for the other areas of our life. When we feel like we have the resources to take care of ourselves, to move from a place of scarcity and of fear and of uncertainty to a place of stability, caring for ourselves and our communities well, all the other areas of our life begin to thrive. And there's nothing wrong with saying, yes, I want this for myself. I think many of us have this thought that is maybe sometimes intrusive or just sitting in the back of our mind around money and whether we will be as much of an artist if we focus on money and on sales and on the financial component of our business, when many times that's what we need to be focused on to begin with. We don't need to be out here doing all of this extra stuff to justify what it is that we want. We can say, I want to be paid well. I deserve to be paid well. These are my standards and these are the goals that I have for myself. And what happens on the other side of that is that we are able to then serve our community even more. I am on a mission to continually raise my prices. And I won't share something with you all that I wouldn't do myself. Hopefully, many of you know that by now. The things that I suggest in our one-on-one calls, in our group calls, whenever we have a chance to talk inside the community, these are things that I put into practice for myself on a regular basis, things that I'm learning right alongside all of y'all, and from many of you who are experts in these different areas that we talk about. One thing that I'm on a mission to do is to consistently raise my prices. As I learn more, as I grow more, as I'm able to share more value with the world, I'm able to receive more as well. When I ask the question, what do I get? That changes from time to time. What I got when I was 14 years old and learning how to be an assistant in a dance class, teaching, I think that was the first time I ever had a job, being an assistant in a dance class was different. I'm in a stage of learning. I am learning how to be a dance instructor. I am learning how to manage a classroom. I am learning how to entertain and educate and all of these things. I get something from that job. Not only the money, whatever it was, some hourly pay as a teenager, but I also get this valuable skill set that I'm learning along the way. Through the years, those things change. What we give and what we get has a sort of ebb and flow. There's experiences that we might gain a lot from, whether it's skills, whether it's for our portfolio, whether it's a performance opportunity. That's not always financial. Value can be generated in many different ways. But what I want to point out And the reason our community has shifted to dancers get paid is because it's a fact. I believe that wholeheartedly as a statement. Dancers get paid. I just wanted to say it again. Dancers get paid. There are many dancers out in the world that are existing in well-resourced lives where they're feeling abundance. They're feeling like they can do the things they want to do with their art, with their craft, their creativity, with their community, because they have the resources to accomplish that. Not all of us have experienced that through our entire journey as dancers. The point of dancers get paid is that there is room for everyone to have the resources that they need. And sometimes we have to generate those ourselves, but we won't be able to generate them if we don't open up our minds to the fact that we can ask and we can set a boundary and a standard and we can receive. So as this community continues to shift and grow, I want to show more of how dancers are getting paid in this dance creator economy through things like our 90-day first 1K sprint that's happening on our premium tier, our first sale challenge that's happening for our standard tier. All of these different things are to allow us to begin to bring up the topic of money more frequently. I am healing my relationship with money. And that requires bringing that aspect of life out of the shadows, not giving it a back seat in my art life, but making it forefront, making it important, giving it the respect that it actually deserves. I want the process of getting paid, how it's happening, why it's happening, what you did, what's working, and whether we'll repeat it again or not, to be transparent. So we have conversations about, how did you get paid this week? As I mentioned, I think it's important right now to continue to raise prices. Why? Because raising prices until I get to a point where the pricing matches the value of what we are offering here in our space, it allows us to serve our community well. Sometimes we have a nervousness when it comes to scaling our community. Sometimes we have a fear that if we charge more, fewer people will be able to access it. Our wallet and what we have access to might look different from the person who is ready to buy what you have to give. And in addition to that, I completely understand that feeling of putting yourself out there, the feeling of potential rejection. Sometimes when we charge a lower price, thinking that more people will have access to it and the ability to say yes, it makes us feel more confident sharing that with the world. When we charge what we actually are thinking in our heads and what makes us excited and a little nervous and feels a bit like a challenge, it can feel challenging. It can feel like we're putting ourselves out there and opening ourselves to vulnerability and to potential rejection. But the cool thing is, people can choose. All around the world, people have the option to choose what it is that you are sharing with them or not. And the people who are ready for it will find you. The more and more we make it clear who those people are in the way that we're speaking, the standards that we're setting for ourselves, and the value that we place on the services we provide, the more those people will be ready to say yes. I want to encourage you, as we focus on pricing, to consider what it is that you get in return and whether you might be shortchanging yourself. Maybe the value that you've created is worth a lot more than the price tag that you've put on it. And when you set such a low price for others, it sets a signal in your brain that what you are sharing is not worthwhile. It sets a signal in your brain that it is small, that it is scarce, and that you have to keep being a servant to others to earn or deserve what it is you want to begin with. And that's just not true. You don't have to earn anything. You don't have to serve first and then receive the value that you've already put out into the world. So many of you inside our community, first of all, if you're watching this on YouTube and you're not a part of Dancers Get Paid, I encourage you to check the link in the description and to start a 7-day free trial and see what it's all about. But for the people who are inside of Dancers Get Paid, this message is specifically for you because I keep hopping on calls with people and seeing DMs that we have back and forth with one another and seeing posts inside the community. And I will be very honest with you that I am guilty of this as well. And it's an opportunity for growth. But what I continue to see is that many of us are not standing in our full authority. We are not accepting that we have done so much throughout our career. We have all the skills that we need to accomplish the goals that we want. And I know, if you don't have the skills and you're aware of that and honest with yourself, you're going to take action to find the resources that you need to get additional professional development, to reach out to people inside the community who have wonderful coaching programs that you can participate in. There's a lot to collaborate with here. But for those of you who are sitting on your gifts, on your skills, on your talents, on your authority that you have built over a long career in art, in dance, in whatever creative pursuit you do, and feeling shy to share that with the world or to label yourself in that way, or to charge what you feel like you could because you feel like you won't be able to serve as many people because there aren't people that can pay what you want. It's not true. When you allow yourself to step into this space of, I am who I am, I've lived the life that I've lived, I deserve this, I am worth this. Just existing in this world, whether or not I am giving or working hard or hustling or putting in the work or being dedicated or motivated or any of those things, just the fact that you are existing, just the fact that you have lived and gone through these pursuits and you are willing to share what you have with the world, you need to demand. It's such a harsh word. It's not, that word is not, it's not me, but I lean into it because we need to demand more for ourselves. We need to command more for ourselves. We need to attract more for ourselves. But we can only do that if we allow ourselves to. Many of us are holding ourselves back from the potential in terms of our own wealth generating processes. I thought previously, before the work that I've been doing to understand my own relationship with money, I truly thought that offering things for free or for a low price allowed me to reach more people who wouldn't otherwise be able to participate. But what I've come to realize is we can have offers for many different people. If you have a free community and you have an additional tier, there are people that you'll serve on the free tier that maybe never will pay. And that's fine. There are also people there that are always looking for more. They want to connect with you in a deeper way. They want to see what it is that you have to share. And if you never let them know what it is, if you never confidently state your price, whether on a sales call, whether on your about page, whether somewhere else, people won't know. And many of you, I am amazed when I speak to you face to face on a call, or I hear a message in a DM. I'm amazed and I'm surprised, but I know I shouldn't be because I felt the same way. I see so many of you who have resumes and portfolios and a list of skills that are just so long. The authority that you have in your specific niche is so obvious to another person when I see it. It gives me chills when I talk to y'all and when I think about it, because we can see this, like everything is just being reflected in the world. But sometimes we don't see that about ourselves. And it's the same for me. We might have this long history of the things that we've done over time. I think some of that is like additional cognitive training or therapy that we might need to be able to sit with that and really make that connection for ourselves. But sometimes we don't see what others see in us. And I want to point that out for many of you. You have this long list of experiences in life that many people are waiting for. They're waiting for you to step into your authentic gift, and they're waiting for you to step into the next stage of what it is that you're developing. And so I encourage you, don't worry. Don't worry if you feel like you are cutting off a part of the potential audience you have, because someone shared something recently in our space, and it really just reminded me about pruning, and how when we prune things, it allows other things to grow. When we narrow a path, it gives us a focus on a particular thing. When you are scaling a community, if you have one, whether it's on school or another membership, when you are scaling whatever it is that you have in your business and you're taking it to the next stage of more, there are people who won't go with you to that part of the journey. They might stay where they are. They might not need what it is you have to give next, but there are people who are waiting for that additional step. So if you were thinking, hey, I wanted to do this thing and I just wasn't sure because, I just don't know if dancers will really pay for that. I don't know if artists will really pay for that. I don't know if creatives will really pay for that. I want you to think about your own life, because many of you, I know, have put in a lot of time, energy, and money into professional development. Whether it's not money, you put in a lot of time watching YouTube videos like these that equates to some sort of investment that you've made into your own future. And I think we could sit here and say that dancers, artists, creatives don't invest in blah, blah, blah. But what I'm noticing when I talk to people one-on-one, and friends and colleagues and students, is we do make investments in things. We do make investments in other areas of our life. And when someone wants something enough, they will do it and they will say yes. It is time for dancers to get paid. And when we ask ourselves that question of, what do I get? Is this worth it to me? For me, many things just begin to fall. No. Don't need to say yes to that. Don't need to say yes to that. It's hard enough to do what we already have on our plate sometimes, and we still continually give ourselves more without receiving more value in return. So this is your signal. This is your sign to make some changes. If you have questions, you can drop a comment. I would love to hear from all of you. I think this is a conversation we can continue to have inside the Dancers Get Paid community. And yeah, I would love to hear your experience with that question on, what do I get? Okay, I'll talk to you soon.